Hawks win! Hawks win over the Minnesota Wild in overtime. Hawks win 4-3 against the Wild in a back-to-back. Yes, a back-to-back. And they won it again. Hawks come off with a great way to win the game. 4-on-3 power play. Ends it in OT by the Gus. Holy Cowboys. Hawks with another win tonight. And Hawks find the way to make it their 4th in a row. Yes, 4 in a row for a winning streak. That's good for the boys. Now they are, let me tell you, going into tonight's game, they were only 5 points out of a playoff position. Well, now, boys, they are only 3 points out of playoff position. They have to jump, though. Edmonton, Arizona, Anaheim, St. Louis, Vancouver, and Colorado. That's 6 teams that they have to jump if they want to play the playoffs. I'm so hoping they don't do that because we need we need to draft a young star in Jack Hughes or Capo Caco. But that gives the Hawks their 20th win of this season, and they defeat division rival Minnesota yet again. The Hawks are good when they play against their division or play against teams that are in a playoff position. They have been all year. They did it again. They beat the Wild and they beat a playoff team. The Wild are sitting in the first wild card spot, and the Hawks beat yet another wild card team, well, a playoff team, for instance. Let's go to the stats of the game because it was a good one, boys. To start off, not so much. The Hawks kind of came out slow, but they gained it all in the second period. In the first period, scored by Zach Zucker, his 14th goal of the season, assisted by Mikael Gramlin and Ryan Sutter on the power play to give the Wild a 1-0 lead at 8:22 in the first period. Yes, the Hawks gave up a power play goal. Does that surprise you? No, they have the worst ranked penalty kill in the NHL. But they are getting better at PKing, but they still give up those bad ones. That was I have to give Gramlin props for it because he did set it up for a great pass to feed Zucker, and Zucker finished it. So at the end of one, the Hawks are down 1 goal to the Minnesota Wild. But going into the second period, at 7:51 in the second period, scored by number 12, his 26th goal of the season, Alex DeBrincat, assisted by Dominic Cahoon and Dylan Strome to make it 1-1 by a great goal by the Cat. He has a rocket shot and he used it for advantage. But at 14:47 in the second period, scored by number 56, his first of the game, 9th of the season, Eric Gusterson, assisted by Cahoon and Strome. Yes, Strome and Cahoon putting up 2 sets of assists on 2 different goals to give the Hawks a 2-1 lead at the end of 2. And it was a bomb by Gustafson. And the Hawks take advantage going into the third period, up a goal. But you know how the Hawks are. They tend to give up leads, and it happened again. At 8:11 in the third period, Mikko Koivu scores his 8th goal of the season, assisted by Parise and Spurgeon, to make it a 2-2 game at 8:11 in the third period. So, it was a tie game going to the 15-minute and 25-second marker in the third period. Scored by number 19, Jonathan Toews on the power play, his 23rd goal of the season, assisted by Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat to give the Hawks a 3-2 lead right there on the power play. Kane extends his point streak, and he gets yet another point on the board. It was waiting until literally 5 minutes remaining in regulation for Kaner to get a point. God, if he did not get a point, the Hawks would have lost this game. I guarantee it. But at 16:58 in the third period, scored by the Minnesota Wild, Victor Rask, his first goal as a Wild, 2nd of the season, assisted by Greenway and Foligno to make it a 3-3 game at the end of 3. Yes, we're going to overtime, boys, but that's not the story. Ryan Sutter flipped the puck over the glass at the end of the third period to give the Hawks a power play to go into overtime. So, at 1:19 in the overtime, scored by number 56, his 10th goal of the season, 2nd of the night, Eric Gustafsson, assisted by Alex DeBrincat and Jonathan Toews on the power play for the GWG in OT, and the Hawks get the 4-3 victory over the Minnesota Wild. God, that was a fun game to watch, boys. Back and forth hockey, felt like a playoff game, and honestly, it was that good of hockey. If you did not watch this game, you missed a great game because it felt like a playoff atmosphere. Hawks got up to play, and they managed getting the 2 points out of tonight's game. Good for the Hawks. Now we go to Edmonton on Tuesday night. So, this is a great all-around Hawks win because the power play scored 2 power play goals tonight, and that's something. If you don't have your power play going for the Hawks, you have a rough time having a chance in winning. Well, last night though, against Buffalo, we can forget about the fact they did not score a power play goal, but tonight they needed to score those 2 power play goals, and they did. And the Hawks take it in Minnesota, 4-3, and honestly, Kaner extending his point streak. He is, I have to say it, because if I don't, I would forget. Kaner is up to 75 points in this season. He is. I want to make sure of it. He's currently sitting 4 points behind Nikita Kucherov. Can't pronounce his last name right now, even though I know how to. Who has 79 points. Kaner, or did this update yet? I don't know. I don't believe it updated yet. It may not have. Kaner could have 76 or 75 points. Kucherov, I know he scored tonight. He could have 80 points. I know, or 79 points. Well, I have to see about that later. Because I don't think the NHL app has updated yet. But honestly, big win by the Hawks and good all-around hockey. Fashion. I should go over the 3 stars of the night and who got snuffed out of one of the stars. Because honestly, Alex DeBrincat got snuffed out of a freaking star of the night. They gave Jordan Greenway the 3rd star of the night of the Minnesota Wild. They gave Victor Rask of the Minnesota Wild the 2nd star of the night. And then from your Chicago Blackhawks, number 56 with 2 goals and it's Eric Gusterson for the 1st star of the night. Well deserved for Gus getting the 1st star. Alex DeBrincat should have had the 2nd star of the night. That's how good Cat played. Cat had a goal and 2 assists. And 2 of the assists came on the power plays. Good for Cat. Yeah, Cat got snuffed out of it, which is bullcrap in my opinion. But honestly, Hawks winning 4-3 over the Minnesota Wild. It's great beating a division rival, isn't it? Well, it is. So, leave your comment down below what your takes were from tonight's game, because it was a great game. And please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I know you enjoyed the outcome. Hawks win 4-3 in overtime by Eric Gusterson. And thank you for watching the broadcast. And most of all, let's go Hawks!